every situation we've discussed so far has occurred in roughly modern history. However, this is the turning point of the video where we get prehistoric, which is actually a good thing because the situations we're about to discuss are literally insane. And the Lake Toba super eruption is a great start to the second half of this list. Lake Toba, Indonesia is the modern day location of one of the most severe volcanic eruptions possibly in all of Earth's history. And it's believed by some that the result of this eruption was a trackable decline in human genetic variation. But let me take a step back. The Toba super eruption that we're discussing is actually the most recent in a series of eruptions that happened in the same volcano. This Toba eruption we're discussing took place only 74,000 years ago. And I say only because the eruption that took place before this one took place 1.2 million years ago, meaning that within the context, this one wasn't too long ago. Regardless, this eruption was significant. And as I mentioned, it was a super eruption. And what qualifies it as a super eruption was the fact that it had an estimated volcanic index of 8, making it the largest known explosive volcanic eruption in almost all of Earth's history. And I know that kind of just sounds like a lot of big numbers, but to kind of try to put this in a bit of context, in 2022, when the Hunga Tonga eruption took place, that volcanic eruption was estimated to have released 2 to 3 cubic kilometers of ash. And if you look at the pictures and videos and satellite imagery of that explosion, that is so much ash that was released, and it was truly a devastating event. However, if you think 2 to 3 cubic kilometers of ash is a lot, the Toba super eruption released 2,800 cubic kilometers of volcanic material. And this volcanic material had a major impact on the Earth's climate. Unsurprisingly, this volcanic eruption caused a volcanic winter, but this winter was rather significant, not only because it blocked out the sun's rays from entering the Earth's atmosphere, causing a global cooling by several degrees, but it's also believed that this period caused a 1,000-year cold period following the initial volcanic winter. Although that claim is disputed by some, and others say it would have only lasted 3 to 6 years before temperatures would have gotten within a few degrees of, once again, normal. Regardless if the cooling period was 6 years or 1,000 years, the effects were the same. Crops and vegetation across the world withered and died off, causing animals to die, and therefore massive famines among early human populations. And this volcanic winter isn't just speculation either. Core samples from both Greenland and Antarctica confirm a sharp cooling period at this exact time in history. But this is where things get really interesting, because some researchers believe that the Toba eruption was so significant that it's actually linked to a genetic bottleneck that took place during human evolution. And within this theory, it's believed that the global human population was drastically reduced to essentially a few thousand humans. That's it. Just imagine that, a global population of humans in the thousands. That is a crazy thought. And to some researchers, it's believed that this catastrophic event is the exact reason why there is a relatively low level of genetic variation in humans, because there was a time where so many humans were wiped out, and we all stem from a group of a few thousand humans roughly 75,000 years ago. And while this theory isn't necessarily proven or unproven, in the scientific world it's considered controversial, as the theory is making a bold claim and it's not quite proven yet, and there is some physical evidence to disprove it as well, meaning the conversation is still actively ongoing and relatively heated as well. But that's kind of beyond the scope of this video. The facts are this: 74,000 years ago, there was one of the biggest volcanic eruptions of all time, and it undoubtedly had a huge impact on human, animal, and vegetative life across the entire globe. And while the Toba super eruption is crazy to think about, it's even crazier to imagine what would have happened if the circumstances were just a bit worse, and if the Earth just got a little bit colder. Because if that were the case, potentially those last few thousand humans wouldn't have existed, and you and I would not be here to tell the story today.